So, because I'm just coming in from outside. Oh, I need to wash my hands. I can't talk and sing the ABCs in my head at the same time. And since I want to make sure that I'm washing my hands for the duly noted 20 seconds, this is actually beyond 20 seconds because I've already finished my ABCs. I know I'm late. I will tell you why I'm late in just a minute. Good morning, Claudia. Yes, H.
Just wanted you to know that when I go to bed, I turn off the ringer, so it's useless to call.
I was locked out. I was hoping you would get up at some point.
Oh, how'd you get back in?
The back door was unlocked. I was locked out this morning, y'all. I lost my house key. Crazy. I went out to walk the dog. Good morning, Stacy. And I'm not sure where on that walk that I dropped that house key, but I dropped it. Fortunately, I didn't take anything but the house key, so it's one key on one little bitty chain. Fortunately, I didn't lose car keys or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's one key on one little chain, and therefore it's probably gone. Nugget and I were in the grass with the leaves and everything else, and so most likely it's covered with some leaves and stuff, and I retraced my path, but when you got a dog running around all over the grass, I'm not really sure where I was standing. So, oh well, key is gone. So, which meant that I'm late to tea time because I had to go rewalk my path and try to see if I could see the key. I didn't. And then hope that I had left the back door unlocked, which I did. So, you can go back out? You can go out. Okay. Go. I wish the best, full of love, happiness, peace, and health. Happy New Year, Claudia. Happy New Year. So, you guys, I'm training my dog to ring the doorbell to come in. Who is this saying hello to me? I don't have my phone, so I'm not sure who's saying hello, but hello. I'm training the dog to ring a doorbell to come back in. And he did it all day yesterday. But I was so excited every time that he rang that bell that he sometimes looks at that bell like I'm not touching it because that lady went crazy every time I touched that bell. So right now he keeps going up to the bell, putting his nose on it, but he refuses to push it because I think he thinks I'm going to go crazy again. So, but the whole purpose of the bell is so that he won't do that barking. So I screwed it up being so excited when he did it. I needed to be calm. But, you know, it's just like when I was telling Rose, it's just like when your kid starts to walk for the first time and you jump up all excited and it freaks them out and they fall down. I kind of did that with the dog. I freaked him out. Now he keeps looking at that bell like I am not touching it. I refuse. Hello, Karen. Good morning. I'm coming in. I want to go sit down, but I want to wait for him to get that bell, to ring that bell so I can give him his treat. You know what I want to talk about today? Wish everyone a healthy and prosperous new year. I feel like I should be talking about how we're going to roll into the new year, but I don't really want to talk about that. I just want the new year to come. I just want to go into it like it's a whole nother day. No big deal. Not expecting much out of you, 2021. I just want to be in the back of the room, not noticed by the professor. I want to slip in the back door, sit down, take my seat, and just listen. Just watch and listen. Take my notes. I do not want to make a big deal. I don't want any more attention on me. I don't want any focus on me. I just want to make it through. That's it. But I made it through. I made it through with flying colors. 2020. I mean, 2020 has been a year of crazy, but at the same time, it's been a wonderful year of growth, right? So what I want to talk about today is parenting. I'm going to go sit down. He's going to have to just bark until he rings that bell. because he needs to get back on track. So let me sit down. I was talking to my sister today about, parenting, about raising these children. And, she's worried, not worried. She commented, good morning, Tobiah. Happy New Year. I'm about to open my phone so I can see who's there. We're talking about parenting. We were talking about raising our kids, and she was talking about how it's important for me to I'm gonna show you guys. I'm organizing my space. Somebody said that. Oh, Catrice loved the yarn. I'm organizing my space. It's so much better. Look, I went and bought. Now this is supposed to be for Christmas ornaments and stuff, but I needed a place to put all of my yarn things, like my palm maker. I make the little palms with this, and I have a different size for each one. I have 3 different sizes. I have these cute little tags that I can put on some of the yarn. And then, I have all these are all needles, straight needles and circular needles, all different sizes. Because you guys know that I don't stick to one particular type of knitting. I will needle knit. I needle knit and I loom knit. I do both. It just depends on what the project is and what I'm trying to accomplish. And then I decide which one I want to do. So I'll do both. Anyway, I've tried to organize. And so I have all of my yarn. I took all these books down because, I need to get a bona fide bookshelf, and I'm not even using, we're not going to these books. These books we've already read. I don't want to get rid of them, but I need that space for yarn. So I now have, at first I only had yarn on this wall, but now I have yarn. Let's see if I can show you. Now I have yarn all the way there. These are projects. This is the blanket I'm working on for Etienne. This is the scarf set that needs to be sent out. This is the blanket set that needs blanket and hat for my niece that I need to send out. I'm going to redo her blanket though, because I did this when she was itty bitty baby, and now she's a bigger baby. So I'm going to take this apart and make her a bigger blanket with this same yarn, but she has a matching hat to go with her blanket. This is another scarf set. I'm waiting. My little pom-poms come today. I'm going to put palms on pom-poms. This one is not going to have, this is not going to have the poms that I make. This one is going to have a furry pom-pom. And then this is another loom, one of my loom sets. I have a couple of loom sets. One of my loom sets, and all of this yarn is for, all of these are for a blanket that I'm going to make. This is the last skein for Etienne's blanket. I'm making his blanket on the loom. So I have 2 skeins that I've already done on the loom, and I'm doing 1 more. And then this is all just waiting for me to do something with. Anyway, I'm organizing this utility room. That's what I have decided. I was trying to figure out why the hell I'm so crowded in my space, because it's a small house, but I wasn't crowded like this before the pandemic. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and I realized the reason I'm crowded like this in this space is because I had to bring my office home. And the office now takes up 1/3 of my utility room, which was my crafting room. So now, because I'm not doing cupcake like I usually do, I'm packing up all my cupcake stuff, my commercial stuff, not the stuff for me to bake for myself and for the boy. I'll still keep that stuff out. But all this commercial stuff, the restaurant size pots and pans and baking dishes, I don't need all of that right now because I'm not doing cupcake like that during this pandemic. So I'm going to box all of that up, and I am knitting. So I will be using this for the knitting space, and Etienne is doing his candles. So this is the candle, knitting, and workspace. You guys hear my dog. He'll come to it. He'll realize he's supposed to ring that bell in a minute. In the meantime, I'm not going to worry about him. Anyway, I want to talk about, it has become a, crafting conversation. But I'm doing all of this because one thing I do want to do is go into the new year well organized. So I went and got some plastic bins a couple of days ago so that I can finish organizing the space. My living room is overrun with my cupcake things that I'm packing up to put in the attic. But I pack it up a particular way so as to keep it, the integrity of it. You know, like I tape the containers closed and wrap it up because we have to worry about all kinds of bugs and stuff here that I didn't have to worry about in California. So anyway, parenting. So it's so funny. It's comedic, right? To me, anyway. We were talking about how my sister and I were talking about how our kids are scared of us because they know their parents crazy. And you guys see HN playing with me, toying with me, getting too much into the conversation. But, you know, it's a learned thing for him to understand or to learn to figure out where the boundaries are, right? It's a little bit harder for him to learn it than it is for others. But I mean, than it was for his brother and sister. But he has to learn those boundaries. So we go back and forth, right? But when it comes down to it, my sister's like, just be sure, Kai, just be sure because he's bigger than you. And I'm like, hold on. Let's be very clear. That boy is scared of me. Let's be very clear. He knows his mother's crazy. He knows never step to me the wrong way. He knows don't ever put your hands on me. Don't ever push me. Don't ever, right? That's not even a question. It's not even a question. As much as I will play back and forth with him, he knows I will die. I will die. Right? And it's so interesting because I think that's the best thing you can do for your kids. And some people may disagree, disagree if you want to. But when you are destined to have children bigger than you, and I mean bigger than you and bigger than you, taller than you better teach them a solid fear of you, a solid fear for their lives. Tell me you're not scared of your parents. Tell me why, when you're 25 years old, your parents tell you not to do something, you don't do it, right? Because you were probably raised like I was raised. No, we don't question our parents. This woman on TikTok, she's Puerto Rican. And she was answering a question. Some woman said, no, there's another woman on TikTok who said, when you are 23 or 24 years old and your parents tell you you can't do something, tell me why you listen. Why don't you just do it? You're grown. And this woman came, stitched her. So added on to her video and says, because I'm Puerto Rican. That's enough. I've seen that video because I'm African, because I'm Puerto Rican, because I'm African American, because I'm Mexican, because I'm anything other than white. Anything. And this woman went so far as to say, I'm Puerto Rican and any other minority that I know does what their parents tell them to do, no matter what their age is. Maybe by the time you're 40 or 50. Hold on. This is getting on my nerves. Let me go tend to the dog. I'll be right back. You just have to ring the bell, Nugget. That bell is for you to ring, sir. Let's get you to ring. Nope. All right. Did you guys hear the bell? I wasn't scared. She was relentless. It was a respect thing. Yeah, but sometimes respect is out of fear. And you may not have been afraid, but sometimes respect is respect is, well, let me say this. What's the consequences if you don't respect her? Whoever it is, your grandmother, I think. What were the consequences if you didn't respect them? You feared the consequences. So that is still fear, in my opinion. It is still fear. Good morning, Chelsea Welsie. There were consequences. And there are people out there who don't fear the consequences. They fear you. They fear you for the consequences that they will suffer if they don't do what they're told. That's fear, y'all. How many people do you know aren't worried about what the consequences are? They don't have that level of respect. They don't mind, they don't tend to their elders. The fear of God, that's important too. That's important too. That's definitely important. Good morning, Kai and Tea Time family. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Pam. Pam, we're talking about beating our kids this morning. We're not talking about beating our kids. A healthy dose of fear is not bad. That's my opinion. When I have a child that's that much bigger than me, that is destined to be that much bigger than me, oh no, you got to fear me. You have to fear me. You have to be concerned. And it doesn't have to be a fear of death. It doesn't have to be a fear of a beating. It doesn't have to be a fear of any physical corporal punishment. It just has to be a fear of disappointing, a fear of the consequences. What are the consequences of me not respecting my parents? Oh, you've already been here. Okay, Pam, I didn't see when you joined. As a child before my teen years, yes, I feared her, but she was my mama, and it was no question. I just did what she told me. Right? But but Rose, you have to realize that there are a lot of people where that's not the case. There are people where they don't do what their mamas tell them. You were taught. I wasn't scared of her. I loved her, so I wanted to do what she told me. Now my granny, that was a different story. Okay, that's I mean, the thing about it is I still want to say, and I know I can't tell you what your case was. I'm not saying no, Rose, you tripping. No. I want to say that okay, for example, anything that we do for someone else, right? We want a positive response. And so we do things with the idea that I want a positive response from this person. It's not because I love it. May be that I love them and therefore I want a positive response. But if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, regardless of loving them or not, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I will get a negative response. I don't want that negative response. We can think of fear not shaking in your boots, right? I don't want that negative response. So I'm going to always seek that positive response from this person that I love. I respect my mama because I saw the way she respected hers. Mm-hmm. Fear is a double-edged sword, both good and bad. Fear can sometimes save your life. Also, it can keep you from achieving your goals. I typically did what was asked, but if they didn't give me a reason, then I would question it, respectfully question. Well, maybe a few times I popped off at the mouth. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should have so for example, I feared my father and it kept me in line, but it did not allow me to have a close bond with him because I feared him, right? Now I feared my mother, but it was a different fear. I feared the consequences of not doing what I was supposed to do with my mother, right? I feared the consequences. I feared the disappointment. I feared, the lecture. I feared the whooping if that's what it was going to be. I didn't want those things, those negative things, right? But with my father, I bona fide feared him. Karen, you can attest, everybody needed to fear him. But what I'm saying is when I got a son that's much bigger than me, I need you to fear the consequences when it's a day-to-day thing, right? But just in case you ever thought that it would be okay to push your mother or be physical with your mother, I need you to fear that you will die. That's what I need you to fear. The consequences. The consequence of stepping over the line with your mama is death. Now, y'all, I talk all the time, and I'm always like, beat your kids. Beat your kids. I don't really mean it. Like, don't go beating your kids, because if you do, I'm going to report you, okay? I'm just playing. If you can't take it as a joke, I'm going to need you to get some therapy. In my family, it's still yes, sir, no, sir, and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's a matter of respect. Oh, I always was pushing back, but respectfully, kinda. Oh, I was kinda respectfully pushing back, and kinda not respectfully pushing back. I remember I used to fuss with my mom, and my grandmother had that round table that we used to sit. We used to sit at grandmother's table in the kitchen. It was a round kitchen table, and I would fuss with my mother. And if I felt like she was going to come after me to slap me, I would run on the other side of the table. And I remember one time she was chasing me around the table. We were just going in circles until she realized she just wasn't going to catch me. She was always going to be on the other side of the table. And she got tired, like, just go to your room. I didn't want to get hit. My kids think their mama is crazy. There were 4 of them, and technically they could have taken over, but they were afraid of me and they listened, and that saved their lives literally from a speeding car. Stop meant stop, no questions. Exactly. Exactly. I need you to fear me because fearing me will save your life. Like I always use, I think that's Catrice. Catrice has 4 kids. I always use the example that I don't need to give you a why, because if you were running across the street and I needed you to stop and I said stop, I don't need you to ask me why. I just need you to stop. And Chelsea said scared of mom, but dad not scared at all. Uncle Bobby said fear and respect. Olivia's, oh, hi, Olivia. Everybody give Olivia some love. This is her first time watching us and joining us at the tea time table. Wait, Olivia is the baby, right? Olivia is the baby. Oh, still give Olivia some love. I'm an angel, though, so I don't have a lot to be fearful for. Oh, Lord, that must be Chelsea. She ain't an angel. Growing in my neighborhood, my parents gave the adults they knew permission to whoop my butt if they caught me doing wrong. Because it took a village. And when we were growing up, you didn't just fear your parents. You feared your parents. You feared God. You feared your church family. You feared the neighborhood folks. You feared the lady down the street. I mean,
that's not how a child should be living.
Shut up, boy. See, he doesn't have enough fear.
Fearing every single adult that comes into your life.
Hey, Tim, we're talking about healthy fear, honey. Ha ha ha. We had a stick that was used to give us smacks, and on it, my mom wrote the Bible verse in Ephesians. Obey your parents and you'll have long life. We would throw that thing on the roof and she would send us to get it so we could get a beating, and we would stay up there until my dad would fight for our cause, sometimes hours. Is that? Truth, my grandma has spies, right? You feared everybody, but that fear kept you in line. That fear kept you on the path that you needed to be on. That fear kept you respectful. That fear kept you respectful. See, there has to be a consequence of no respect. You don't just grow up and automatically understand from birth that respect is good. There are consequences when you don't show respect. And it's not wanting those negative consequences that helps you to continue to be respectful, to understand the value of respect. Or there's consequences, and sometimes there's such a positive response to respect that you want more of that. So sometimes it's one way or the other. Sometimes you'll get a negative reaction if you don't respect, and therefore you don't want that negative reaction. And or you could get the positive reaction when you show a lot of respect and you want more of that positive reaction.
Excuse me, Mom?
But that is fear. That is fear. It is not that I'm shaking in my boots and I'm scared of you. I'm scared of coming around you. I'm scared. It's not that. It's that I don't want to disappoint this person. I don't want to be sent to my room and have to stay in my room. I don't want to lose privileges. That's still fearing that consequence.
Oh, okay. I have a quick question.
No, because you need to fear me right now. You need to fear interrupting my tea time with your quick questions. You need to fear that.
You gotta tell me when you're about to have a serious tea time.
Kids today have no idea what we went through. It kept us humble. Exactly. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child, and your life will be shortened. And it says a little beating won't hurt. I used to hear that from my girlfriend's parents. You know what? I think that I do know the spare the rod, spoil the child verse. That's one of the ones everybody always uses to beat their children. You know, again, when I say beat your children, I don't really mean take your hand to your child. I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do. Whoop your child, I don't have a problem with that, but don't beat your kids, right? So I use that word very, very, very loosely, right? However, I don't just believe that there's only one form of discipline. So when you spare the rod, to me, my interpretation of that is discipline. Don't spare discipline. Discipline your child. That doesn't mean you got to take a rod to your child's backside. No, it doesn't mean you have to hit your child. It means you have to discipline your child. In my opinion, you take that Bible verse and you interpret it however you want to. That's fine with me. How I interpret it is I need to discipline my child. I'm not going to use that verse to support beating my children. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not against corporal punishment. I will whoop your ass if that's what you need. Okay? I will whoop your ass if that's what you need. However, that's not the only form of discipline. Who was the nutcase that came up with timeout? It sure wasn't a Black person. That's not true. Black people came up with timeout. Yes, they did. We've been giving our kids timeout forever. We just didn't call it timeout. You know what timeout was? Boy, go to your room before I beat your ass. That's timeout. We just didn't say, go to timeout. We said, go to your room before I beat your ass. Get out of my face before I beat your ass. Go outside and play before I beat your ass. See, that's timeout. So yeah, let's not act like Black folks don't know anything about timeout. We are not just running around beating our kids. We didn't start the beating. White folks started beating, right? We were at the receiving end of beating. White folks started that mess and act like they didn't start that mess. They started that mess to try to keep us in line. We continued that mess to try to keep our kids in line. Think about that. We wasn't running around in Africa beating our kids. Think about that. Go to your room before I beat your ass. Time out. Go out in the fields and pick. Go out in the fields and cut that crop. Get out into the forest and catch me some what's it called? Bush meat. Go find me some bush meat. See, we did do timeouts. We just didn't call it that. Every child is different. That's true. That is true. Every child is different. What's not different is that every child needs discipline. And every child, in my opinion, needs a healthy fear of their parents and adults and teachers. And I mean, you need to have a healthy, see, this is how I feel. You need to have a healthy fear of your parents. If you have a healthy fear of your parents, you're going to carry that over into how you how you deal with every other adult. You're going to carry that over into how you respect your teachers. You're going to carry that over to how you respect your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your aunties, your uncles. You're going to carry that over into every other aspect of your life if you have a healthy fear of your parents and understand that everything is going to get back to your parents. And Lord have mercy, I don't want to disappoint my parents. Lord have mercy, I don't want my mama mad at me. I don't want my mama to find out I did this. Please don't tell my mama. Please don't tell mama. You know, it's healthy. They weren't being influenced by the Westerns in Africa like they are nowadays. Yeah. Never in my house. That's not true. Our ancestors whooped that butt too. You talking about our ancestors in Africa? I don't know that we were running around, that we were running around beating each other as discipline. I don't know that that's the case. I'm not speaking to that as a fact. That's my opinion. Maybe I'll do some research on it and I'll come back and let you know what I find. My kids had to write sentences, work detail, and the last straw meant I was getting to the bottom of things. All this is in order after being sent to your room and we have talked. Yeah. Time out. Right? It's not their timeout. It's my timeout. It's my time. I need a timeout. I need you to be out of my face so that I can process how we are about to work through what just happened. I need you to go to your room and get your act together. And by the time you get your act together, I will have calmed myself down and nobody will die in this house today. We all need a timeout. Let's all take a timeout. So timeout is not just a white folks thing. I mean, we might call it that, but we all need a timeout. Now, when timeout is the only thing you're using and it's not working, you need a timeout from parenting. That's what you need. Don't just talk to me about timeouts when it's not working. There are so many different ways to discipline your children. I'm not advocating for the only way to discipline your children being beating them. That's not what I'm advocating for. Discipline that works for them and helps them learn that. Yes, I think I already said that. Yeah. I mean, I already finished that sentence for you. Anyway, it was just so funny. It kept us humble. Yes, it did. Yes. Truth, my grandma had spies. Yes, the neighborhood parents watched out for all the kids. And I think that's what's wrong right now. The neighborhood parents are not watching out for all the kids. They're not watching out for the neighbors. They're not watching out for anybody. They're watching out for themselves. We can't even wear a damn mask to watch out for people in the neighborhood, right? I saw something online on TikTok, this woman posted that her neighbor's door had been open for 2 days and the dog kept going in and out and it was cold outside, like 30 degrees or something outside, and the neighbor's door had been open for 2 straight days. And that one of the lights, whatever light was on, was the same light that had been on for 2 straight days without sign of anyone moving around in that house. 2 days. And she's on TikTok talking about, y'all, what should I do? Really? Look, neighbor, you got 2 hours to have your door open all day and it's 30 degrees outside and we about to do a checkup on you. 2 hours. That's all you get. Matter of fact, after the hour, I'm like, you know what? It's been a long time that door has been open. It's too cold outside for all of that. We don't care about our neighborhood. We don't care about our neighbors. We don't see our village as our village. I mean, sorry, we do. They don't. They meaning anybody who doesn't, not any particular race. I put the fear of death in my kids. It worked because I've never had to spank my kids. That is fantastic. My neighbors don't talk to each other anymore. We know everyone in our community. It's a shame. It's a shame. There was a woman on, fear is healthy. It can be unhealthy. It can also be healthy. There was a woman one time on Oprah Winfrey show, and Dr. Phil was on there. I think it was Dr. Phil, and they were talking about, I think I talked about this on Tea Time before, but they were talking about, I think I read that wrong. Neighbors don't talk to each other anymore. I got it. We knew everyone in our community. Exactly. So they were talking about stranger danger, and a little girl, they had staged it where this guy would go up to these kids on the playground and ask them to go help him find his puppy. And every child went with that guy to go find the puppy. I think it was like 8 kids or something. Each of those children went with this man to go find his puppy, except for one. And so the Dr. Phil went to, I mean, it was, they went in the audience and they walked up to the woman and they said, well, how did you keep your child? I mean, how did you train your daughter? And she said, I scared her to death. Her child was scared of strangers. She had talked to her child about all of the negative things that strangers do, how they hurt you, how they lie and deceive you. And she had put that fear in her daughter, and her daughter, with that fear, having that fear of strangers, was the only child that didn't go help this man find his puppy. Now, I was young enough and my children were young enough for me to take that to heart. So you best believe I was telling my children they will pull your arms off of your body. They will cut your head off, pull your eyelashes out one by one. Look, you best believe, especially with Chelsea Wellesley. Chelsea, man, she used to give me a heart attack, y'all. She would go up to anybody. She'd be at the playground and somebody was, there was one, oh my God, there was one time that girl was at the playground and I caught her running over to some chick lady and giving her a hug. I didn't know that lady, but she was hugging on that lady like that was her auntie. Mm, mm. She got the fear of strangers putting her like that little girl on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I was so terrified that my child would just go off with anybody. Anybody want love, Chelsea giving them love, right? It's a beautiful thing and a scary thing. You have to scare the kids with the truth, right? You can't shield them from the truth. So that's a healthy fear. It's terrifying, but it's a healthy fear. We were taught about predators back in my childhood. Yeah. So, guys, it's comical. It's comical to me, but I do know that my children will never put their hands on me. Not one of them will ever put their hands on me. I'm very confident because they fear death. Very confident about that. I'm very confident that they know how crazy their mama really is. And yet I'm not very violent at all, actually. I just think it's hilarious. Oh, so we're going to go into our new year. Yes, I taught Joe about all the vile things people do. You got to. You have 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 to. Anyway, I didn't mean this conversation coming into the new year to be negative. I just thought it was comical, but now that we're getting into it, I'm like, well, maybe it ain't all that funny. But it is funny to me because I'm the nicest, kindest, whatever. Just don't piss me off. I'm the great mama you see. I back and forth with the boy, but don't worry, he's not dying anytime soon. Not on my watch. I'm glad Chelsea's okay, so I could have a new niece. Yes, Tobiah. That was scary, man. It was so scary. That took a lot. I would freak out when Chelsea would get lost places, right? Because Chelsea was just in her own little world. We go to I remember when we took her to the Science Museum, not where it is now. Exploratorium, not where it is now, but when it was over there by the Asian art. Is that the Asian art right under Golden Gate Bridge when it was there? We were all there. I was there with my friend Mr. Darian and Christian and Chelsea. H10 didn't exist at that time. And we're all looking at the exhibits, and at a certain point, and we're all moving together looking at the exhibits. Well, Chelsea just got like zoned in on some exhibit, and then she went off a different way, and we didn't notice that she wasn't with us until she wasn't with us, right? We didn't notice that she wasn't moving with us until we turned around and she wasn't there. And she wasn't at the next exhibit, and Chelsea was just exploring the exploratorium, and we were freaking out. And I'm freaking out because I remember the Chelsea that would just go with strangers, that would just, love everybody. Oh my God, y'all don't understand the heart attack I had that day. There were 3 of us. Christian had to have only been like 10 or 11 years old. And I was like, Christian, you look here. Because I knew Christian wasn't going with nobody, right? Christian, you got this floor. Darian, you got this area. And I'm going to the parking lot because you're not going to get off of this parking lot with my child, right? Oh, it was so scary. We found her because somebody was upstairs and saw her walking with someone who worked at the exploratorium. Like, wait, she's with us. It was so scary. Once when I had my brother's kids and my son at the store, they beat an old man for getting too close to the car. I'm sorry. That's not coming out right. They beat an old man. Let me make sure I read that right. Once when I had my brother's kids and my son at the store, they beat an old man for getting too close to the cart. Okay, that's a little bad. That's not good. Who is that? Who's beating up old people? That's not okay. I mean, Karen, that's trifling. Don't tell nobody else that story. Don't be beating up the old men. I mean, unless they're doing nasty stuff, then I guess it's okay. But don't tell nobody else that story. Anyway, guys, I'm going into the new year laughing about my parenting proud of the children that I have birthed and raised and who they are and where they are. And proud that I had the foresight to teach them a healthy dose of fear so they can get to where they are and who they are right now, right? And so that I can be confident. He got too close. They thought he was going to take them. Oh. He's just saying, excuse me, can I get that salt? And then beat him down. Oh, they had fear of strangers for real. For real. Anyway, are you guys doing anything special today? Are you doing anything? Oh, wow. Oh, I was late to tea time. I'm going to get off in just 1 second. But are you guys, what do you guys have planned for your New Year's? I plan to finish my workday, finish organizing some things, and go into the new year with an organized space. I do have some noisemakers. I have some what is it we have? What is that? Sparkling cider. I have sparkling cider. I have noisemakers, and AT and I will probably just pick a movie to watch, and we will go into the new year with each other, enjoying each other's company, playing games, and watching movies, and having something to eat. I don't know. I'm gonna make another pie. I'm not gonna let the boy put it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna do it, or get it out of the refrigerator. That's when he dropped it last time. Anyway, and then I'm preparing my greens and my black-eyed peas and cornbread for tomorrow's dinner. And I'm excited to just go into the new year peacefully. That's it. Having a movie night with my wife and some rum punch. Tobias, I'm about to put you on blast because I still don't have a gumbo recipe, and I'm craving some gumbo, and I still don't have a gumbo recipe. So, who's having chili? I need a chili recipe. I mean, I've made chili before, but I would like to see your chili recipe if you want to share. I need a chili recipe. I need a gumbo recipe. That's what I need. Karen, I need that chili recipe. Tobias, I need the gumbo, please. I would like to have some gumbo. Oh, you're looking for it. Okay. Okay, Chelsea, send me your grandma's gumbo recipe. I'll use that. Having a movie night with I read that. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful New Year's. I was just laughing with my sister about our parenting and our crazy kids and our, parents. We no one parent has all the answers. No one parent. You know what, Chelsea? What's so funny is I never liked your grandmother's gumbo. But I wasn't a gumbo eater at the time. I think I may like it now. Oh, no, you know what? The reason I didn't like it is I don't like okra in the gumbo. It gets slimy. So I'll just use her recipe, but I don't need to add the okra. So I'm going into the new year reflective. How about that? Reflecting on my year, reflecting on just everything, and feeling good. Because I'm just going to omit the okra, Chelsea. Yeah, so I don't have one. It changes from time to time. Oh, your chili. Yeah, that's what my chili changes each time. I need to have a, I mean, and I like it each time I make it. So I don't know why I'm acting like I don't. It's just like yesterday, Rose was walking me through how to make gravy. And in the middle of her walking me through it, I'm like, I actually know how to make gravy, Rose. I just act like I don't. She's like, then you do this, then you do that. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I actually know how to make it. But I liked that she was giving me suggestions on the spices to use, but the rest of the mechanics of making gravy, I do understand. I do know how to do. I just never, put those spices together that she was telling me to put together. So I did appreciate it. And Rose, Etienne and I loved the gravy. It was delicious. The flavors were delicious. I am grateful to be alive too. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be healthy. I'm grateful to have you guys at my tea time table, joining me on a regular basis. I'm grateful.
This is 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's me. Like half of that, son. I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with my children. I'm grateful that Chelsea comes to the table. I'm grateful to see my nieces and nephews and in a different light by enjoying our conversations at the tea time table. I'm grateful that they are able to see me, not just as mom, not just as aunt, but as Kai. Um, I love that. I love that. So I love seeing them at the table. And I love seeing you guys at the table. So take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Mind your COVID manners. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Watch your distance. Drink your water. I have to get back on my water game. This is 22 ounces. This holds 22 ounces. And I've been slacking on it. So I need to get on my, I try to drink 3 of those a day. I need to get back up to my 3. Anyway, if you have any great recipes you want to share. Oh, if you just then share them on the feed, please. If you have a good chili recipe, I do turkey chili. So, or if you have a good no beans recipe, no beans chili recipe, I would love that too. Yeah. Did you just change it around in the bowl? Is it the same amount of grapes and you just moved it around?
Right.
That's what it looks like you did.
I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful, 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 glorious day. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for supporting me being me, inspiring me to be more me, inspiring me to organize my refrigerator. I posted on my page. I posted on my page. Okay, Chelsea. I posted on my page the start of my refrigerator organization. I got these little refrigerator compartment things, and I started. Y'all should have seen that mess. I didn't even take a before picture because I was embarrassed. So you're not gonna see a before picture, but just trust that it was horrible, right? Just everything. This boy just throws stuff in there. So I organized it, and I hope to keep it that way. But it's the start. But you guys inspired that. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful, glorious day. Bring your new year in quietly and calmly. That's my suggestion to you. Don't go into 2021 making any noise. Just slip in the back room, okay? Slip in the back. The jambalaya. Yeah, see, we just need to buy it. Start his own little recipe section on the page, like the gumbo, the jambalaya, some sort of a shrimp dish that he made. I don't even know what it's called, but I need that too. Anyway. You guys have a great day. I will see you here tomorrow, possibly. I might give myself a bike today and then go on a bike ride tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, I'll let you know if I'm not going to do tea time, but otherwise, if you are going to participate in our Buddha bowl making gathering, please pick your time. Yeah, the shrimp Creole. Shrimp Creole, yes. Please pick your time, your date, not the time, but the date, so that I can finalize that and send out the ingredient list. So far, it looks like January 16th is ahead. That's when it looks like it will be held January 16th, unless a couple more people vote who want to participate. All right, I'm gonna go. I keep saying I'm gonna go, but y'all know I don't like letting you go. All right, bye guys.